Title: Benito Mussolini, the architect of fascist Italy. Introduction. Benito Mussolini, a towering figure in 20th century history, emerged as the leader of Italian fascism and left an indelible mark on Italy and the world. This comprehensive essay aims to delve into the intricate details of Mussolini's life, political career, ideology, domestic policies, foreign relations, and the eventual downfall of his regime. By exploring the various facets of Mussolini's rule, we can gain a deeper understanding of his impact on Italy and the tumultuous era in which he governed. Early life and ideological development. Benito Mussolini was born on July 29, 1883, in Pretapio, a small town in northeastern Italy. Growing up in a middle-class family, Mussolini was heavily influenced by his father, Alessandro Mussolini, a socialist and ardent nationalist. His early exposure to socialist ideals and his participation in socialist movements, including his editorship of Avanti, the official newspaper of the Italian Socialist Party, laid the foundation for his future political development. Break from socialism and the birth of fascism. Mussolini's break from socialism came in the aftermath of World War I when he founded the National Fascist Party in 1921. Expanding on his earlier nationalist sentiments, Mussolini developed a distinctive fascist ideology that blended authoritarianism, nationalism, and corporatism. Fascism, as propagated by Mussolini, aimed to create a powerful and centralized state that subordinated individual interests to the collective will of the nation. Rise to power and the March on Rome. Mussolini's ascent to power occurred during a period of political and economic instability in Italy. Exploiting this atmosphere, he capitalized on widespread discontent and rallied support for his movement. The culmination of his rise to power came with the March on Rome in October 1922, where his black-shirt paramilitary squads marched on the capital, demanding his appointment as prime minister. King Victor Emmanuel III, fearing a civil war, acquiesced and appointed Mussolini as the head of government. Fascist ideology and totalitarian rule. Mussolini's regime implemented an authoritarian and totalitarian system that aimed to transform Italy into a powerful fascist state. The ideology promoted the primacy of the state, the glorification of the nation, and the suppression of individual liberties. Mussolini consolidated power through censorship, propaganda, and the suppression of political opposition, establishing a cult of personality centered around himself. Domestic policies and economic reforms. Mussolini's domestic policies focused on the centralization of power and the implementation of corporatist principles. He sought to create a corporatist state, where labor and capital worked together under state control. His regime pursued ambitious public works projects, such as the draining of marshlands, the construction of infrastructure, and the Battle for Grain campaign to stimulate agricultural self-sufficiency. However, while some of these initiatives achieved short-term successes, they often came at the expense of individual freedoms and long-term economic stability. Foreign relations and imperial ambitions. Mussolini aimed to restore Italy's former glory as a Mediterranean power and expand its influence abroad. His foreign policy involved territorial expansion, particularly in Africa, and forging alliances with Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. The invasion of Ethiopia in 1935–1936 marked a significant milestone in Mussolini's imperial ambitions, showcasing Italy's military capabilities and attempt to establish an Italian empire. However, this aggression strained relations with other nations and drew international condemnation. Collaboration with Nazi Germany and World War II. As tensions rose in Europe, Mussolini's alliance with Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany became an essential aspect of his foreign policy. In 1939, Italy formally joined World War II as part of the Axis powers. However, the Italian military faced numerous challenges and setbacks throughout the war, and Mussolini's leadership came under scrutiny. Downfall and legacy. As the tide of the war turned against the Axis powers, Mussolini's grip on power began to weaken. In 1943, facing internal dissent and external pressure, Mussolini was deposed and imprisoned. Despite a brief period of rescue by German forces, Mussolini's regime collapsed, and he was captured by Italian partisans in April 1945. Mussolini and his mistress, Clara Petacci, were executed, and their bodies were publicly displayed in Milan. The legacy of Benito Mussolini remains highly controversial. While he initially enjoyed popular support and implemented significant infrastructure projects, his regime's suppression of political freedoms, alliance with Nazi Germany, and aggressive foreign policies cast a dark shadow over his rule. Mussolini's fascist ideology and totalitarian methods left a lasting impact on Italy and continue to serve as a cautionary tale against authoritarianism. Conclusion. Benito Mussolini's life and rule encapsulate a complex and tumultuous period in Italian history. From his early socialist leanings to his break with socialism and the rise of fascism, Mussolini played a pivotal role in shaping Italy's political landscape. His authoritarian rule, ambitious domestic policies, and imperial ambitions left an indelible mark on Italy and the world. While some initially praised his regime's achievements, the disastrous consequences of his alliance with Nazi Germany and Italy's defeat in World War II tarnished his legacy. Benito Mussolini's story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of authoritarianism and the enduring impact of political choices on nations and societies.